All right, Shane. Man, I bet you've been waiting to make this selection. The Twitter wars have been incredible in my mentions this week. I don't know about you, brother, but South Carolina at Tennessee. Them Vols favored by 10.5 points. The over-under is 56.5. Games at noon Eastern, 11 o'clock Central, ESPN 2. Tennessee won last year 31-27, but 8 of the last 9 have been decided by 6 points or less. And then Vols, Shane, they're wearing the black uniforms. So who do you like in this one?
Going to a funeral, baby. You know what that means. Hey, the only thing that worries me is the uniforms, because you always hear that. And sometimes when you change things up, then all of a sudden it's a real bad loss, and you never want to see those jerseys again, you know. But the last time we wore these black jerseys, do you remember who that was against?
I believe it would be the South Carolina Gamecocks.
And how did that game end?
Steve Spurrier got his ass kicked.
Yes, sir. So I love the new uniforms. Now, we've got a lot of folks up here, a lot of blue hairs running around saying, I like tradition, you know, but come on, man. One of my favorite pictures out there, Jason Swain sent out there talking about Vol tradition, and it was the Tennessee Volunteers all the way back to the late 1800s and the different jerseys they wore along the way. It's like, come on, what's really tradition here? So right. I get it. You don't want to be different. You want to be closer to Alabama and not need all these gimmicks. But, buddies, Tennessee needs them right now. We need to be fun. We need the recruits. You're going against a South Carolina team that has somehow orchestrated a few wins here. I'm telling you, I'm more impressed with the fact that they have a 3-2 record than I am on how they got there. Mm-hmm. The things that worry me about South Carolina is their offense. We're going into Game 6. They've got no identity. I don't know what we're going to see out here. They've not shown me a complete game, and that worries me because they've had some lesser than opponents. I will tell you that this is a good, sneaky good defense. A lot of people aren't giving South Carolina defense enough credit, but these guys can make mistakes for the opposing team. They can capitalize, and you look at how many defensive touchdowns they had this year. That's one thing this defense can do. Mm-hmm. If you come out here and you have a bad game, Hooker throws a bad pass, South Carolina will make you pay for it. And that's the last thing you want, is to get down to this program. But I'll tell you one thing that South Carolina doesn't want to do either, and that's getting a shootout, because they've shown us that they cannot do that. Tennessee wants you to do that. So I don't know, Mike. There's a couple of strengths on South Carolina that scares me, especially that run defense. I just think, last week, fool's gold, man. Mizzou, they're that bad with defense, but South Carolina's not. We're not going to be able to run at will. And you show when you get Tennessee one-dimensional, they are not productive. So the ball's in their court. I just think, though, when I'm looking at this South Carolina offense, it is probably like you talk about how bad Missouri's defense is. At times, that's how bad South Carolina's offense is. Mm-hmm. And that's what worries me right now. I just think that Tennessee can afford to make a few mistakes in this game. Now, the spread on this is what, 10.5?
Yes, sir.
And this is when I went back and forth. I think it's going to be a closer game just because look at the record. I mean, last year it was a close game. The year before it was a close game. It's always a close game with South Carolina. So I like South Carolina with the points. Ooh. However, give me Tennessee wearing them black jerseys. Al Wilson out there doing the Vol walk, baby. They've popped in momentum for this game. This is a nooner. Nobody was going to come out there. I'm telling you, people are pumped up. My like you said, the Twitter feed, there are going to be butts in the seats. And I think that's exactly what Tennessee needs. And that's why they win, because right now momentum is on their side. So again, final score, Tennessee 38, South Carolina 27.
Ooh. Wait, so you have Tennessee covering. It's a 10.5 spread.
Oh. Well, hot damn, Mike. Give me the over. I never said math was my thing, Mike.
Yeah, Shane, I think you kind of hit it there at the end. There's a lot of momentum right now for Josh Heupel and company. But historically, man, I don't know. This is a game, I think, that puts added pressure on the Vols. Because who in the hell's picking the Gamecocks to win this game outside of diehard South Carolina fans? And last time I checked, these two have the same record. And South Carolina, I think, has played some tougher opponents. Have lost both their losses come to undefeated teams in the top 16, including arguably the top team in the nation. So, like you said, historically, this series has been very, very close. 8 of the last 9 decided by 6 or less. I mean, this is all the makings in the world to me to be a trap game. And this is where Tennessee, all the momentum you built up in the last week, you lose it instantly. If you come out here, you play tight. We've not seen this Tennessee program really have much momentum since 2019. So there's a lot of bad mojo to get over if you're the Tennessee Vols. But, the key to the game, Shane, I think you nailed it. I mean, what would be the recipe for South Carolina to get a win here? You have to keep the ball away from Tennessee's red-hot offense. And South Carolina cannot run the ball. They cannot run the ball against Troy. And they basically they have given up, it seems like to me, on just running it with this offensive line. I think they have no confidence in the offensive line. Damn near every run is a sweep or some kind of screen or some kind of reverse. I mean, they're trying everything they can think of to manufacture a running game, but it's just not working. And so, again, what is the recipe for beating Tennessee? I mean, you're going to go pass heavy with you got questionable receivers. You got a quarterback that, he is still not shown that, he's a true difference maker in the passing game. So what is the recipe? Just you're going to shut out Tennessee and score on defense and special teams? I don't think that is working when you got Tennessee's offense playing the way it is. So I'm right there with you, Shane. I don't think Tennessee is going to go treat South Carolina's defense, which is a hell of a defense so far, like they did Missouri. But if South Carolina cannot move the ball, they're going to leave their defense out to dry in this game. South Carolina has only scored 1 offensive touchdown in every single game outside of the opener against Eastern Illinois. I mean, that's god-awful. So you're going to really manufacture offense against a Tennessee defense that they've been playing really good. All the attention's on Tennessee's offense, but that defense has been very, very impressive. Maybe the surprise of the SEC. So I'm right there with you, Shane. I like Tennessee to win, and I like Tennessee to cover. This is a new era. This is a new Vol. This is a Vol in a black uniform, brother. So Tennessee 31, South Carolina 17.
Yeah, you are right, Mike. That is 11 points, so that is over. So let's ran out of fingers there,